With Superman being captured, we finally get a few details we've been speculating over for the past few weeks, if not since like episode 1 or 2. But does any of it make sense? What's up, Nerdgenic Nation? Superhero nerd Aaron Waller here, and today I want to talk about episode 9 of My Adventures with Superman titled 0 Day Part 2. This episode immediately follows the previous one as Superman is held captive by the General, and we finally learn a little bit more as to his reasoning as to why he hates Superman so much, but then begins to question if the reason why he hates Superman is even valid after interrogating him. Now I have to be honest and say that this episode really didn't go the way that I thought it would. I figured the General would have some kind of ridiculous hatred for Superman, and that bit I got right. But as to guessing if Jimmy and Lois would help Clark break out, I was way off base. It was essentially Task Force X's own stupidity and Ivo's hatred for Superman to go after him that led to him getting out. And then the episode kind of turned into a Superman Kaiju fight as Ivo kept absorbing power and growing larger and larger. And I thought that bit was actually kind of cool as Superman so rarely fights giant monsters anymore, and it kind of connected extremely well with the anime-esque style of the show. And even the whole cry for help that Jimmy and Lois put online and all the citizens of Metropolis comply and turn off their power, though cheesy, was also pretty on brand. But what really intrigued me the most about this episode wasn't so much the Kaiju influence or the action sequence, but rather once again the General. He continues to be a very intriguing character, and as we learn his and Amanda Waller's background seem to be from another time or perhaps even another world. The events that they describe about how they believe that Superman coming through a portal and attacking Earth, which they do call it Earth, are obviously very different than the Earth or events that we are aware of on this Earth. And the fact that he and Waller are stationed in a field very reminiscent of Kansas, though I don't recall if they actually call it that, was quite odd. And then there's the character called Nemesis Omega that attacks. And though he seems to have some semblance or connection to Superman in that he can fly, shoot lasers from his face, has a red cape and the Superman style crest on his chest, I'm under the impression that it isn't him as so many and even Clark believe, but rather Jor-El or perhaps even Zod. If you take a look, obviously the connection and similarities to Superman are undeniable. Thus my theory that it could be Jor-El, as he has a similar white suit like Nemesis Omega has. But then again, Jor-El has never come across as the violent type, but rather tries to teach his son to protect. And therefore the second branch of my theory seems more likely, in which it could be Zod, and the hologram of Jor-El that Clark has interacted with once or twice but never really understood was likely trying to give a warning message to Clark that Zod would one day be coming. Of course, we'll likely never be able to confirm this, at least until Clark can understand the message left for him, or he'll be told by encountering Nemesis Omega for himself, which could be as early as next week, but I have a feeling that they'll make that a cliffhanger and hold on to that little nugget until next season, or perhaps even longer. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see next week how it all shakes out in the season finale. But for now, those are my thoughts on episode 9 of My Adventures with Superman, and now I want to hear from you in the Nerdgenic community. How did you feel about this episode? Did you like the Kaiju fight? Do you think the General and Amanda Waller are from a different timeline? Do you think Nemesis Omega is Superman or perhaps even another Kryptonian? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and while you're down there be sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos, and while you're down there be sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos as well as my thoughts on the next episode of My Adventures with Superman. And also be sure to give us a follow across all social media platforms at Nerdgenic. That way you don't miss out on any special news, announcements, or articles at nerdgenic.com. But in the meantime, if you want even more video content from us, check out my thoughts on the previous episode of My Adventures with Superman right over here, or for more DC content, check out this playlist right over here. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, we really do appreciate it, and we hope to see you in the next video.